Friends, today we are going to see what is set and what is dictionary. So set is nothing but it is built-in Python data type that represents a collection of unique unordered elements. So whenever there is a unique unordered collection of elements, so we call it a set. So it is used in Python in order to represent some of the mathematical operations, to perform some of the mathematical operations like union, intersection, difference, complements. So these are some of the set operations, right? Mathematical operations that we already know. So what are the key characteristics? If we see, it is unordered collection of elements. So that means elements have no fixed position or index. So like in other list or tuples, based on the index position we access the elements. So likewise here there is no possibility of accessing through index number because it is unordered. So each time we execute, the order of execution will be different. So that's why we call it as unordered collection of elements. And here no duplicates are allowed. In case if duplicates are available, it automatically remove the duplicates. And then you can either add or remove elements. So in case of elements, it must be immutable, but we can add or remove the elements. And you can loop through all the elements. It is easy to iterate using set, and it is going to have the heterogeneous collection of data types. That means, so in a single set it can have any number of data types, any different types data types. And elements must be immutable like integers, string, tuples. You cannot store list or dictionary inside a set, because list is going to allow the duplicates, whereas set does not allow the duplicates. So likewise some difference is available. So you cannot store list or dictionary inside a set. So how to represent a set? So normally what is the first procedure we do? First define a list. So here first we have to define a set. And if you want to use constructor, you can apply constructor by this method by giving the variable name and then specifying the set of elements. We are going to use the keyword set and followed by the parameter. So within parameter the square bracket. Whenever we want to perform apply some constructor using set, so we can define like this. Okay, and next we are going to see, so what kind of operations we usually perform in a set? The same thing. So here what are the common operations using mathematical operations? So we define a values of set A and set B. So we will call it as, so usually we will call it as a variable declared with some values, right? So here we call it as set A and set B. So based on the set A, set B, we are going to perform some of the mathematical operations. Like normal mathematical operation we do union, intersection. So union means we will take the that is, we will combine both A and B, right? So that is called what all the elements available in A as well as in B. So it will not repeat the duplicate values, right? Automatically it is going to remove the duplicates and specify the each element. So that is union. Intersection means common element from both the set of A and B. And A difference B, so all the elements that are available A which is not available in B. Okay, all the elements that are available in A will be specified, right? So 1 2, so 1 2 3 4 3 4 5 6. So all the elements which are not common and the elements which are available in A, so that will be A difference B. Okay, and symmetric difference. So if we see symmetric difference, so the elements which are not common, all the remaining elements will be given. So that is symmetric difference. A symmetric difference B. So some of the useful methods we are going to apply using Python. So add of element, remove of element, discard of element, pop, clear, copy. So we all know meaning of these methods, right? So add means we are going to add some values, add element X and remove element X, or otherwise error. If that element is not found, it is going to return the error. And then discard, removes particular element. Pop means removes and returns random element. So any random element will be removed. Next, clear. So clear means always it is going to remove all elements. Then copy. If you want to make a copy of a particular set, we can use the copy. Then is subset, check whether it is a subset of B, and superset, and then disjoint set. So disjoint set is nothing but it is going to check if sets have no common elements. So usually all these this kind of collection can be used for whenever we want to use some mathematical operation. We can define a set and use those operations. Okay, for example, we are going to list the characters. If you are going to give the character set of characters like a particular word, right, silent and listen, if you give, so it is going to check each and every character whether it is matched with the available list with the available particular characters that we specified, whether it is going to match one set with the other set, whether all the characters are matched. So in those, it can be used in those applications. And for whenever we are going to find out some what is that, anomalies, and for those cases we use the set. Whenever we want some mathematical operations, so we apply set for removing the duplicates. Okay, so these applications can be used for set. And then how we are going to iterate, so it can iterate like a normal iterating sequence. It can iterate by using the set. So as we define fruits equal to the set, so we are going to open a set. So in that we are going to specify apple, banana, grapes, so name of the fruits. Okay, and we need to iterate through all the fruits which are given through a set. So just use for statement and then print it. Okay, so this is how we iterate through a set. So it is the normal for statement which we apply in Python. So suppose the real example, if you see real time example, if you see, so imagine two courses in your department. So in your department you are going to have two courses. One is course AI, other one is course DBMS. Course AI is who study course AI, so those collection will be defined in a AI set, and those collection which are in DBMS, that will be defined in DBMS course. So those students who study DBMS. So if you want to apply the operation like students in both the course, so if you want to match in both the course, then we need to give course AI dot intersection course DBMS. So we are going to perform intersection operation, likewise union, likewise difference. This is how you can use these for set applications. Okay, and so when to use sets, so whenever you want to remove duplicates, so automatically it can be removed, right? So in those case we can use a set. Remove duplicates from a list. So if you want to remove the duplicates from a particular list, then you can use set. And then membership testing, so whether to check whether the elements are available or not. Fast check if an item exists, if an element is available. So in that case membership testing. And then mathematical operations like union, intersection, and data cleaning, whenever you want to clean the data in a set, so that time we can use the set operations, so to represent the unique values in data set. And then event management, so that means it is going to identify the unique participants. So in these cases we can use set. These are the cases where we can use the sets. Next we'll move on to dictionary. So what is dictionary? So dictionary means here it is based on the concept of mapping. So what is mapping? Mapping is nothing but for a particular key the particular value will be identified. So mapping between a set of keys and a set of value. So this key value pair is called single object, a particular item. Key value pair is called a particular item in a dictionary. So each value is specified by the particular key. So each key will have its own value and it is separated from its value by a colon. So that means a key will be given colon followed by the value of the particular key. Okay, and the consecutive items, continuous items are separated by commas. All the remaining items which are going to define using dictionary are separated by commas. So here if we see, the items in dictionary are ordered, whereas in set it is unordered. So see the difference. So item in dictionary are always ordered because it is going to map with a particular key. The value is mapped with a particular key. So we will get back the data in the same order in which we had entered the data initially in the dictionary. So since dictionary is ordered, so we all know dictionary means there is some sort of ordering, right? So like in a real dictionary, we have a set of words arranged alphabetically. So similarly here also we are going to arrange the elements in order. So it is going to follow some order. So that is called dictionary. So how to create a dictionary? So whenever we want to create a dictionary, so the items are entered or separated by commas and enclosed in curly braces. So we are going to enclose within a curly brace. So each item is a key value pair. So whenever a dictionary is defined, so we can see that there is a mapping of a key with a value. So we call it as key value pair separated through colon. Okay, the keys in the dictionary must be unique. So the keys have to be unique. Each individual will have the individual key, unique key, and it should be of any immutable data type. So data type will be immutable, like number, string or tuple. The values can be repeated and can be of any data type. So the values can be repeated, but the key cannot be repeated. Key must be unique always. So always the key must be unique for the each of the value, but even though the values can be repeated, whereas key cannot be repeated. Same kind of key cannot be repeated. So next we'll see how to use the dictionary, how to create a dictionary. So first, if you want to define an empty dictionary, we can define with a curly brace, open and close curly brace, and within the curly brace you will define some of the items like key followed by the value. That is how we define the dictionary. So in this example, it is the dictionary that maps names of the students to marks in the percentage. So each student marks is mapped to particular student. Student's marks is mapped to its particular student name, right? So each student who has secured marks. So Mohan has secured 95, Ram 89. So how do you get separated from each of the values of a key value pair? So name of the key followed by the colon followed by the value. So each and every key is unique, whereas we can have multiple values. Okay, so keys must be unique and values can be same. Okay, so that is very important difference, we just note down. How to access items in a dictionary? So we have already seen that items of a sequence, for example string, list and tuple, accessed using a technique called indexing. So whereas the previous concept we have seen like string, list, tuple, so in those cases elements can be accessed based on the indexing. Here the items of the dictionary are accessed via the keys. So we have to access it with the help of the keys. Okay, so each key serves as the index and maps to a value. So each of the key have its own value and each key can be mapped with a particular value. So that's we refer, instead of indexing we just refer the key value pairs in order to map the key with the particular value. So here the following example shows how a dictionary returns the value corresponding to the given key. So we have defined a dictionary 3 as a variable name equal to, how do you define a dictionary? Curly brace, then name of the dictionary, that is the key of the dictionary. So key, each key will have its own value. Okay, so here the student names are given followed by student names are acted as a key and marks denotes the value of the each of the individual key. Okay, and how do you access it? So we access it, instead of indexing we access it through the key, since each key is mapped to its own value. So okay, this is about dictionary. And if you see the membership operation, whether it is available or not, so whether it is in or whether it is not in the set, so whether it is in or whether it is not in, So those two are the membership operation defined using a dictionary. So sometime in 2 marks they can ask. So write about the membership operation of a dictionary. What are the two types of membership operations in a dictionary? Okay. So this is about how we define and how we apply the dictionary. So as I told you, dictionaries are mutable, which implies that the contents of the dictionary can be changed after it has been created. So it is mutable. We can modify the content of its particular key. We are going to access with the help of the key. Okay. So next is adding a new item. So how to add a new item to the dictionary? As usual, what we define the variable followed by the collection of key value pairs. Okay. So each key is unique and each key is mapped to its value. Okay. Suppose if you want to add the new student name, which is dictionary of Meena, and is scored 78 marks. Okay. So how we can add this? So just declare it with a variable dictionary1 and followed by the particular key equal to, so what is the value should be for the particular key. So likewise we can see different examples. So likewise in many applications we can apply the dictionary whenever there is some key value pair mapping, so we can use the dictionary. Okay. So this is about today's class. So any doubts you can ask, just practice the programs of a set and dictionary, then only you can understand clearly. So with this I'll complete my session. Thank you all.